Straight line graphs. All straight line graphs take the form y equals mx plus c, where the m is the gradient. If it asks for the gradient in an exam, do not write down mx, just write down whatever the value of m is. And be careful, if it's a negative, make sure you write down -3 if it says -3x. The gradient is how steep a line is, and it means that for everyone across the x-axis is how many up or down on the y-axis. If it's a positive value, it will be up, and if it's a negative value, it will be down. The plus c is where our line crosses the y-axis, and it's called the y-intercept. And this is similar for when you do quadratic graphs. The value on its own is where it crosses the y-axis. And it's always a good little check in your exam to make sure you got it correct by checking if your graph does actually go through where it says it should go through on the y-axis. So, let's plot a straight line graph. So, let's plot y equals 3x minus 3. Now, in an exam, you may well be given some values already given in a table. You might be given a blank table to fill in yourself, or you might just be given some space to draw your own table. So, I always like to pick the easiest values of x, which are 0, 1, 2, 3 or 4, because I don't like to go in negatives because that's where problems start to arise. So try and keep your x values positive. To draw a straight line graph, you need between 3 and 4 points. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take our y equals 3x minus 3 and we're going to substitute in our values for x. So, firstly, put in x equals 0. So, 0 times 3 is 0, minus 3 gives us a y coordinate of minus 3. Put 1 in, so 3 times 1 is 3, minus 3 is 0. Put 2 in, so 2 times 3 is 6, minus 3 is 3, etc. And you get the value when you put 3 in, y is 6, and if you put 4 in, you get y value of 9. Now we've got our pairs of coordinates we can plot onto a grid. So firstly, we've got 0, minus 3, we've got 1, 0, etc. Because remember, coordinates are made up of an x and a y component. Right, here's a grid drawn for us. In an exam, you will be given a grid with an axis that will work for your values. So, we're going to plot our coordinates on here. Then, we must remember to join these up with a straight line using a pencil and a ruler. Remember, you're provided with a ruler and a pencil in your packs. So, 0, minus 3, 1, 0, 2, 3, 3, 6, and 4, 9. Now, you are going to pick up a ruler at this stage to draw a nice, neat line. It's a bit more difficult on here, but you end up with something along them lines. Right, next part. So use your graph to solve 3x minus 3 equals 0. So what this means is we're looking for the situation where the y coordinate is 0. And the only place where the y coordinate is 0 is along this line, x-axis. So, where does our line cross the x-axis? Well, it's here at the value x equals 1. In an exam, it's not likely to be as simple as reading one of your coordinates. It will usually be something like 1.5, 1.6. So have a look at the graph carefully. Make sure you read the scale carefully. You could also be asked to plot the lines x equals 3 and y equals minus 2 on a grid. Now, x equals 3 means we're looking for a line where all the x coordinates are 3. So, all the x coordinates are 3 along here because that's 3, 1. That's 3, 4, 3, 0. 3 minus 3. That is the line x equals 3. Y equals minus 2, well, we're looking at a situation where all the y coordinates are minus 2. And that happens down here. So, at 1 minus 2, 0 minus 2, 4 minus 2. So along there. So y equals minus 2. So remember, a y equals a number is always a horizontal line, and x equals a number is always a vertical line. They're key things to remember as well from transformation questions to do with reflection. Finally, you could be asked to identify from a straight line equation the gradient, the y-intercept, and a parallel line for a straight line given. So, if we look at the first one, y equals 2x minus 3, the gradient is 2. Because remember, all straight line graphs take the form y equals mx plus c, where the m is the gradient and the c is the y-intercept. So the gradient is 2 and the y-intercept is minus 3. Remember to take that minus with you. Finally, a parallel line to this. A parallel line is where two lines will never meet. And this only ever happens if the gradient of the two straight lines are the same. So we need any straight line where the gradient is still 2x plus whatever value you want. So let's go for 3, just not the one that we're given in the question. So for the second one, y equals minus x plus 4, well, the gradient on this one is minus 1. The y-intercept is 4, and the parallel line to this is anything as long as it's got the gradient of minus 1 and the x. So plus 7, because we can't use 4 because that one's given for us. So that's everything you need to know to do with drawing straight line graphs in a GCSE exam. You might be asked to solve two simultaneous equations using straight line graphs, where you draw the two lines and see where they intersect or meet.